Can you imagine if every word that you said, every email that you wrote, and every story you told could stick in the mind of your audience members, accepted, unquestioned, and totally persuasive? Well, today I'm going to share some ideas with you that I believe makes that work. In fact, there's 3 ideas. Let me add a caveat to start with, and that's about the idea of integrity. There are very powerful communication devices, and by that I don't mean phones, communication ideas that really do work very well indeed. And the challenge being is that they can be used by what we'll call bad actors to get people to do things they really shouldn't be getting them to do. So obviously we need to make sure that we're working on a base of integrity when we're using these ideas. Okay, let's look at the first one. I'll say this slowly, but this is incredibly powerful. When you make a statement followed by a question, if somebody answers the question, they don't question the statement. Let me say it again more slowly. When you make a statement followed by a question, if, and it is an if somebody answers the question, and I do believe that most, if not all, questions are answered, even if they're not verbalized, if somebody answers that question, they don't question the statement. Let me give you a ghost example. You see somebody you know and they're driving a new car and you want to pay them a compliment. So what do you say? You say, "Oh, great looking car. That makes you look really successful. Did you buy it or did the company buy it?" Now, when they answer the question, "Did you buy it or did the company buy it?" they will take along with that, "Great looking car makes you look successful." So that is the compliment. I say a fairly gauche example of that, but you understand what I'm saying. If I was talking about my new book, Paid, I might say to somebody, "Oh, the feedback from my new book, Paid, has been fantastic. People are telling me about the extra money that they're making. Have you been to the website recently?" And adding that question into the back end, and you gather I'm having some fun with this, adding that question into the back end, if somebody answers the question, they don't question the statement. Now, it can be more than one statement. It could be a statement followed by a statement, followed by a statement, followed by a question. But the basic idea of this is simple in idea, but we need to think how we're going to use it all of the time. When you make a statement followed by a question, if somebody answers the question, they don't question the statement. And you can use this in spoken communication, you can written in communication, you can use it almost anywhere, in fact, everywhere that you communicate. The second idea is stories. Stories are really powerful because we can weave the ideas that we want to communicate, the ideas of the ideas, yeah, you've got the idea, of the ideas that we want to communicate with somebody else within a story. Why does this work so well? Well, you and I and every other human being, including all of the humans that came before, grew up with stories. Stories was how we've always communicated, even as kids. Kids want to hear the same story again and again and again and again while they lock the ideas in. They never seem to tire of hearing great stories. And so it is with us as adults as well. If we want to communicate effectively, if we want to persuade people, if we want them to accept what we say without question, then we can blend the ideas that we want to share with them into a story. So, for example, in my previous videos, I mentioned the fact that I was running a seminar. A woman came up to me who used to work with me some years before. And she was talking about the fact that every Monday morning we used to run a training course at 8 o'clock in the morning. Even though people weren't due until 9, we ran it at 8 o'clock and people came in. And I remember people saying to me, they're saying, "Peter, how can you take the sales force off the road for so much time?" Because we didn't go from 8 to 9. We often went 8 to 9, 10, 11, 12. We didn't take a whole morning. How can you take all the sales team off the selling process for a whole half a day? Whole half a day? You know what I meant. But I found this. By training the sales team for half a day, up to half a day, every week, meant that in the 4.5 days that we had left to sell, boy, did we sell a lot more stuff. Because as I mentioned on that previous video, when we're aiming for the top, we train to get there. When we're at the top, we train to stay there. Now, that was a story. And that was a story that included the idea of the fact that it's a good idea to be involved in training ourselves. As simple as that. So a story is another way to communicate effectively and powerfully to get people to accept ideas without question, without being manipulative. And the third way is a testimonial. Why? Because as Professor Robert Cialdini states in all of his work, social proof is really powerful. And we see this on the internet all the time, social proof, don't we? So if you can get a testimonial that's written by one of your clients, customers, or patients about your products and services that basically follows this formula, I was skeptical, but then there was something about it, or there was the guarantee or whatever it was, I decided to buy. And then having bought, I got this wonderful result. That simple process is so powerful. And people, in reading that story, because that's what a testimonial can be, accept that information, because it isn't the supplier that's saying that, it's somebody who is a customer and therefore is an ethical source of that piece of information. So there are three very powerful ideas that you can take away in order to persuade other people, remembering that all communication is an attempt to persuade someone else to do or avoid doing something either now or in the future. We can use the statement question. When you make a statement followed by a question, if somebody answers the question, they don't question the statement. You can use stories and you can use testimonials. If you've enjoyed this, then there's plenty more of my videos about here. And in the meantime, I wish you every success in all your adventures in life. And I think I've got some buttons here that make something happen. Well, another day. Oh, let me just do this one. Oh, there it is. I wish you every success in all your adventures in life from me, Peter Thomson. Until that next time, goodbye for now.